from crumbling to showpiece condition. Experts at WIT's Rock Art Research Institute have been working tirelessly to conserve notebooks and works of the South African artist Walter Battiss. Joburg Today visited as the team was preparing for an exhibition. Rari's unusual Walter Battiss collection arrived piled into this trunk. The more than 700 items were collected sometime between the 1930s and the 1950s, the period during which Battiss intensively studied Sun Rock art.
And he was one of the first people to take a typically South African aesthetic, inspired largely by the rock art that he had spent quite a lot of time viewing, and give it a modernist perspective. And that's one of the main reasons he became world famous. This collection, it has never before been seen by the public, so it's really important, we think, that the public are able to have access to this insight into Battiss's early years. And it's made on very sensitive cellophane, and so no one would have been able to have a chance to look at it, and it probably wouldn't have lasted too much longer had we not made this effort to conserve it.
Born in 1906, Battiss visited many Sun Rock art sites and copied the cave paintings onto cellophane.
A lot of these cellophanes have tears in them because of the way they were stored. And also because they were folded, when you unfold them, where those creases are is inherently weak, and so often it splits on the folds. So I've developed a system for sort of repairing those folds. So I'm actually using a polyester film. It's transparent, and I actually make my own sort of self-adhesive tape and cutting tiny, tiny little tabs and laying them across the tears.
A lot of the sites Battiss recorded are now very well-known sites and been recorded subsequently and worked on subsequently. So his records are some of the earliest records of some of these sites. And having those earlier records to compare to what those sites are like now is a very useful thing.
The paint and inks that he used on the cellophane are actually very stable. They're adhering to the cellophane very well, so I don't have to do any consolidation, which is what we call when you fix something like that, which is really rather nice. And we certainly don't touch them up. That would be restoration. That would be making it look different, and we don't do that. And then for the exhibition, I came up with a system for mounting them so we can put them on the wall, but also it serves as a storage system too, so that will preserve them. They're encapsulated effectively.
And the kinds of notes he kept in many of these sites are really quite remarkably detailed, and the sorts of things he was noticing are the fine details of this art. And it's only much later that when we start understanding what's going on in the art, really in the 1970s usually, that we realize the importance of those fine details.
Those notebooks are also quite fragile because the paper that they are made from is cheap, poor quality paper. So those are not so bad that they can't be handled, but they have to be handled very, very carefully.
To hopefully spark more interest in this type of conservation as a career, the exhibition will include a section dedicated to conservation. Marise de Klerk, Joburg Today.